guys, it's Nate with Golf Made Easy. I created a training aid yesterday to help everyone with angle of attack. I wanted to show you how easy it was to make and then also what you can do with it. And it doesn't have to be made out of the same stuff that I made mine out of. I just went to the store and got some PVC pipe and then obviously cut a swim noodle up to give us, a safer, softer beam that comes out. And then it's gonna have three different uses throughout your clubs. We want our swing, like our drag back and our shoulder turn, to feel consistent, but we gotta hit down on the ball or hit up on the ball depending on what club we have out. So unlike normal, I'm not gonna start with a short club. We're gonna actually start with the driver first, because this is what this training aid is actually best for, is this one. And the reason is because most people struggle with high spin rates and coming more down into their ball like they do with the rest of their clubs in their bag, their irons that they're striking. But the most important part is finding an arm slot that's going to let you stay low to the ground on your drag away and then come from a lower attack angle when you come back into the ball. So my normal position when I'm closer to the ball and I'm getting my hand angle more up with my shorter clubs, my natural pendulum drag back would be clipping this on the way up, and I'd also be clipping it on the way down to trap the golf ball. But now that when I set my tee up, I'm just gonna set it up, about a foot in front of this, and I'm gonna work on first getting my drag back to feel comfortable. So I wanna stay below this and feel my toe open up when I get here and not leave it cupped down or feel the club getting out here. And so when I get the feeling of the drag back staying under the beam, I'm just gonna return my arm a couple times as I get used to turning my hip. Once I feel like I have this arm slot and it's starting to feel like a pendulum, but keep my club coming from underneath this beam, now I'm gonna go ahead, take my stance, and try to swing. And now every time that you swing from underneath this, you'll be catching the ball on the up instead of popping it up and putting high spin rate while hitting down on it, right? And so even if you clip this, easy to pop it right back on. And now I won't keep the ball a foot in front for all of my clubs. So as I go into like a long iron, or right now I just brought out a hybrid, but I'd be doing the same thing with a 6, 5, or 4 iron too. When we get to the long irons, now you're gonna place the ball just barely in front. So here, my ball is only a couple inches in front of the noodle. And as I get ready to set up, here I wanna maintain enough down angle to brush the ground, but not enough to actually get the leading edge of the club digging on the ground. And so that's an important part with this first part. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I'm a strong believer in weight distribution. And so when I'm hitting my driver, my weight's back, and with this one, my weight's gonna be pretty 50-50, and the ball just a couple inches in front of the beam. From here, I'm gonna be able to practice getting the brush of the ground where my arm can fire down and touch the ground, but not get that much friction. When I feel like I have this feeling where I'm swinging under the noodle and just brushing the ground, leaving the leading edge flat and using the bounce of this club, then I'll try to set up front, middle, weight 50-50, and see if I can strike it from underneath the beam. And so now as I hit that, I have something that's keeping me focused on my attack angle and making sure that I'm not seeing my club get too direct with my attack. Now, obviously, we want to be steeper with some of our clubs, and what we're talking about is like 8 iron down. So now with 8 iron down, we would know that we want the weight to be more forward, my chest weight more forward to my front leg. By doing this, it's gonna instantly let me, without like focusing on that much, my drag back should get higher as I drag away. And because my weight's more on my front leg, when I go to pull back through it, it's gonna naturally be more down into the ball. And so for this one, you're gonna play the ball about 2 feet in front of the beam. And now instead of trying to swing underneath it, which will make me skull wedges and blade stuff outright, I'm gonna focus on keeping my nose in front of the ball and working on a higher drag away. This is gonna get me the right impact to come down and trap this wedge. And so, very simple tool, cost me less than, I'd say $14 to get all the pieces to make it. And now I have 3 different attack angles that I can work on. Whether you're hitting balls with it or not, you know, it's still gonna be beneficial. So just remember, when you're working on short clubs, you play in front and work on feeling your drag back be more down into the ball so you can get your hands and weight in the lead and trap it off the ground. When you're hitting a long iron, you play it only a couple inches and try to find what I think of as my neutral spot, where when I'm dragging my arm back and through, I'm just brushing the ground. And then when I'm hitting driver, I go back to actually hitting the ball here about a foot in front, but instead of trying to stay, you know, missing it this way, I'm actually swinging my driver underneath it to work on my low attack angle where I can come up through the shot. Hopefully this is a little trick, you know, helps you guys understand the differences between your clubs and what attack angle you want to be working on when you're hitting them. You know, make something like this and start improving your attack angles. Have a good day.